mà chất năng bằng sông cương chiên bạch nhạc bạch nhạc sa ma kỳ cùng đất nia sông cương bom ra ca bia Cambodia mai cùng rực nia tiêm tia sập sợi ray ai kêu riêng bờ na tiêm a thâm bàn tay mai bờ sấy đô đánh thay rẽ xa mình oi bờ từng chìm pin một tua trà sông bạc đồn ta thâm thiên chiết Khmer rèn a tinh rèn bom lư Cambodia Khmer ai thêm khmia đong xoài pa nhà ha nhiều bài sẽ tình song cùng ăn không xa sẽ quạt lạnh pha chi việc phim rùng rương đầy dương tu dương khô khô dương Khmer trọc lan song cương chiên khai ra nó ở trong đầu âm lại chung bờ chia đang bay Campuchia rung rung xem xa chơi vô con nặng bạn sông cô chiên mà chất cái nặng bằng sông cô chiên bạch nhạc mây khuyên sa ma kỳ cùng đất nia sông cồn bom ra ca bia Cambodia mai cùng rực nia tiêm tia sập sợi ray ai kêu riêng bờ na tiêm a thâm bàn tay mai bờ sấy đô đánh thay rẽ xa mình oi bờ từng chìm pin một tua trà sông bạc đồn ta thâm thiên chiết Khmer rèn a tinh rèn bom lư Cambodia Khmer ai kêu thêm khmia đong xoài pa nhà ha nhiều bài sẽ tình song cùng ăn không xa sẽ quạt lại pha chi việc phim rùng rương đầy dương tu dương khô khô dương Khmer trọc lan song cương chiên khai ra mà nó đôi trong đầu âm na chun pro chia đang bay Cambodia rung rung xem san
and welcome. Good evening and welcome to Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. This show is under CNRP-America. Thank you for joining us. My name is Linda Wu and I am live from the beautiful state of California. I just want to let you know that this show is entirely in English, so we can reach wider audience and also for our youth to understand as well. So thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the last day of spring today. Tomorrow will be our first day of summer, so hopefully it's beautiful. I know it's going to be hot in California, but still most people said California only have 2 seasons, hot and hotter. So, but I'm imagining in other state they're probably looking forward to summer. So hope you enjoy the last day of spring and tomorrow welcoming summer, going to the beach, and also many kids, many children at our school. Again, thank you for our show. Thank you for joining our show. We have a wonderful guest. She's been here many times. She's always working with us and helping us with the show and giving us her input, and she never shy about that. So let me bring her out and then we'll talk about our topic and see how she's doing. Maybe hopefully she's looking forward to summer. Hopefully, Ohio have 4 seasons instead of 2 like California. So Brittany, how are you?
I'm well, Bong. How are you?
Good, thank you. How's Ohio today?
Ohio is cold and rainy today.
So you are looking forward to tomorrow, summer.
I am, yeah. Hopefully, it starts to warm. Warm and sunny weather is hopefully on the horizon.
Is it 9:30 over there?
It
Almost
is,
9:30.
yeah, almost
The sun not
9:30.
even set yet at your state.
Yeah, not quite, but probably within the next 5 minutes or so.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think over here is maybe 8:30, but that's pretty long time. Some people's 9:30 gone to bed already.
Yeah, soon.
Any plan for the summer?
Hmm. I don't think so. Just working a lot, unfortunately.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brittany's here. Our topic for today is Cambodia Lady of Liberties. Um, who do you think of when we're talking about Cambodia Lady of Liberty, Brittany?
Hmm. Well, quite a few. Definitely the Friday women, who are um, a brave group of women, very organized and strong women who have, for many months, as the name suggests, come out on Friday to different parts of Cambodia to demand the release of their sons, their husbands, their brothers, to bring attention to a lot of injustice that's happening in Cambodia, and to highlight very serious social injustices and the need to address the problems with political prisoners. And yeah, there's a number of them that are very prominent and very driven by justice and liberty. So when I hear that, I think of the Friday women. But what about you?
Yes, same here. I also think about Friday women who's there out there every Friday. Many time they are not able to go out there because the regime know that they are out there protesting in front of the court in Phnom Penh, and many time not just protesting, they are actually walking from the court side to many embassy, like the U.S. embassy, the Japan or France, many embassy to put in the letters asking the international community to, to look into the injustice in Cambodia. And like Brittany said, they are female, they are wife, mother, daughters of political prisoner that actually currently in Cambodia right now, and we still have many of them that unjustly in prison.
Mm-hmm.
The other one that I'm thinking of is this lady.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the topic for us today. I did not find her picture. Let me see. Let me see. I want to show you the outfit. She have many outfit. This one.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the iconic Lady Liberty outfit.
Yeah, this is the I think the Court of Justice, the one that holding the weight evenly.
Mm-hmm.
We have so many picture in here, so we'll bring out some more. Um,
Mm-hmm.
can you introduce her, who she is, to our audience, in case our Khmer youth does not remember who she is? Because on June 14 is her 1 year anniversary. So what's going on with her?
Yeah, so Terry Singh is a Cambodian American. She holds dual citizenship. She was born in Cambodia and went through the
really awful period of the Khmer Rouge, and luckily survived, and then went to the U.S. and she grew up in the United States, and she has a very impressive history with her education and her life in the United States. She got her law degree, and shortly after that, she went back to the United States in early 2000s to help rebuild the civil society, and did a lot of work with nonprofits and local groups in Cambodia. And we were talking about this today, but I remember her, all of her work broadcasting about the Paris Peace Accord to try to help Americans and Cambodians and other people to understand about the Paris Peace Accord, to understand about social and political issues in Cambodia. She was very much outspoken and an advocate for women and for blue collar workers. She was very active as independent news outlets were shut down. She was very active to continue to broadcast from Cambodia despite the threats and intimidation that she was facing. And at one point, there were mass arrests, sweeps of arrests, and she was caught up in some of those massive sweeps under, incitement charges and things like that. So as you mentioned, she was sentenced last year. So she's been in a remote prison in Cambodia for the last year. Despite being an American citizen, she has a very prominent lawyer who is American, and he went to Cambodia to try to advocate on her behalf and help her along with her trial. But even then, she was still sentenced to 6 years.
Yes.
Yeah, 6 years in prison. And during the process of her case and everything, of course, the international community was extremely concerned about this. She has a lot of support from lawyers in the United States and different organizations. So therefore, Hun Sen banned her American lawyer, from entering Cambodia to work with his client to help free his client, or at the very least make sure she has humane conditions in the prison. As I mentioned, after her sentence, shortly after she entered prison, she was sent to a far-flung province, which is a total isolation tactic, and she wasn't allowed to practice her religion and other basic humane things were not afforded to her. So that was her punishment for staying in Cambodia, and she was very strong and clear about, yes, I can leave. I have an American passport, but I won't leave. This is my country, and this is what I believe I should be fighting for. And I think her message still resonates with so many people. Like, despite the threats and the intimidation and prison sentences, she has reminded us that we have to continue to fight.
Yeah, the remote province is in Prehvihir. It's purposely the regime purposely transport her from Phnom Penh and to Prehvihir, and it's a long, and the road is not smooth, and it's not easy to travel, and that is purposely so the international community having a difficult to reach her. International community will have just a hard time to get to the city and then to stay there, and it's also a very unsafe road conditions. When I'm saying unsafe, in addition to the physical road that is not great for travel, there's many people that can die by motor car accident. And it's Cambodia is one of the country that famous for driving without respecting the speed, without respecting the law, and many people have died, especially opposition, due to car accident. So that's the let me see. I have a short video I want to play and share so that way you know who is the Cambodian Lady of Liberty.
Cambodian court has ordered jail sentences for nearly 60 opposition figures for conspiring to commit treason. They include prominent American Cambodian lawyer Thierry Seng. Seng's been sentenced to 6 years in jail.
A Cambodian court has handed down jail sentences to about 60 opposition figures for conspiring to commit treason and for incitement, including a prominent Cambodian American lawyer. The mass trial has been widely condemned by the United States and rights groups as politically motivated. The case has involved more than 100 people affiliated with the dissolved Cambodia National Rescue Party. The CNRP was banned and its leader, Kum Sutka, arrested for the country's 2018 election, allowing Prime Minister Hun Sen's Cambodian People's Party to win every parliamentary seat, prompting international concern. The charges against Kum Sutka stem from accusations he conspired with the United States to overthrow Hun Sen, who has ruled Cambodia for 37 years. Kum Sutka and Washington reject the accusations. Among those sentenced, American Cambodian lawyer and human rights activist Thierry Seng, who arrived in court on Tuesday dressed as the Statue of Liberty with a symbolic chain around her.
It follows the logic of this autocratic regime to find me guilty. But I am freedom today. I am Lady Liberty. So it won't just be me, Thierry Seng, who will be found guilty, but all the Cambodians who love justice, who love freedom, who are genuine Democrats, who will be found guilty along with us. This autocratic regime is suppressing the Cambodian people. It is suppressing freedom. It is persecuting Cambodians for their political opinions.
A Reuters witness said Sung had not been allowed to appear in court in Phnom Penh due to her attire. Thierry Sung's lawyer Chung Chungi told reporters the court had sentenced her to 6 years in jail and ordered her arrest.
This verdict is not fair. It's unjust for her. It is unjust for her. That was why she was protesting for the solution. But the court did not give the solution. It punished her and jails her instead.
Her lawyer said that she would consider appealing, noting that she and the other co-defendants had been sentenced to between 5 to 8 years in prison. The verdicts are likely to renew international concern about Hun Sen and what his critics say has been elimination over many years of opposition to his rule. Hun Sen denies persecuting his opponents. Human Rights Watch urged foreign governments, the United Nations, and aid donors to press Cambodia to quash the convictions and end a broad attack on the country's remaining civic and democratic space.
Do you remember watching any of that last year, Brittany?
Yes, I was watching it very closely. I don't know, I think I was maybe a little bit naive or delusional or something to think that she wouldn't have the same fate as so many other people, unfortunately. But now she's imprisoned with them, despite her dual citizenship, despite her American lawyer, despite her being an American lawyer. And it's all because of, the evidence, the court documents were Facebook posts, very specific Facebook posts, which is just like, who has the time, if you're supposed to be leading a country, who has the time to search specific Facebook posts and be upset about that enough to jail someone for 6 years?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Any question for me? We will do the show today, just Brittany and I. So Brittany can ask me questions and I can ask her questions. I would encourage our youth who's living in America, Cambodian American, or American. I'm speaking English, so they should be able to understand me. Encourage them to join the show. Send me a comment. I'm welcome anyone. I would love to have them host the show, or I can host and I can still ask them questions. And like Brittany, she's not even Cambodian. She's here. She know a lot about Cambodia. She's care about a lot about Cambodian. She's advocating for all the law that we are working on. So I do really encourage our youth to show up and especially watch this show, share this show, and especially we living in America. You shouldn't be afraid to show your face. You shouldn't be afraid to show your face on Facebook or on camera, because we live in a country that does not that the your freedom of speech mean a lot. So if you watching this show and you are the youth, and if you are a parent of a youth, please share this show. And also, hopefully Brittany inspire you to care more, to trying to understand what's going on in Cambodia. I'm sorry, I'm off topic, but I just want to let our audience know that the show is back and forth. It's like a conversation. Any question for me, Brittany?
Well, I am kind of curious. What are your thoughts when a girl or a woman, like Terry's saying, she got her education, she was trying to give back to the community, to her fellow Cambodians in Cambodia, and she didn't agree with something, and she was speaking up and advocating for other people. So what sort of message does that send to girls or women in Cambodia who are trying to get, a professional degree and to get a job and, maybe give back something to the community? So what are the consequences of her sentencing? What do you think?
If anything out, it's not just encouraging girl in Cambodia, it's encouraging girl in America, especially Cambodian, any girls that have their parents or aunts or grandparent who's Cambodian American, to give back to the community, who born in America, know how to speak English, know what is democracy, know what is human right, to help out for Cambodia, to be brave, like Terry saying, to get her. Terry saying was not born in America. Terry saying was born in 1971, before the genocide in Cambodia. She gone through the genocide. She moved when she's as a refugee. She came first, before she landed in Michigan. She actually stayed in California. So she was a California resident, and then she stayed in Grand Rapids in Michigan, got her graduate degree, which is her law degree. And that should encourage everyone that in America, especially Cambodian American children that have their parent as a Cambodian, to encourage them to help the society, help the community. I know living in America, having a job, go to school, it's a very busy life. It's not just like you have a busy life, I have a busy life, busy trying to pay bill, trying to pay the mortgage, having children. But what encourage is you need to give that time to the community. That's what in America. In Cambodia, I know she inspired many people, especially girl in Cambodia, to shoot for the star, reach for the star. And I know in Cambodia, not many women that is a lawyer, not many women that are into their professions. So that's encourage them to go into lawyer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it definitely discourages them or concerns them. And, sadly, some of them might take another path because they see that. So it's very unfortunate. And also, while watching that video, it reminds me that when she was on trial, there were dozens of other people who were also on trial under broad incitement charges, which is also a tool of the regime for anyone who's outspoken or on any side of the opposition. Incitement is often what people are charged with. So it reminds me that the courts are totally weaponized. The constitutional committees are totally weaponized and just at the mercy of CPP, and even the recent changing or attempt to, and I think it's finalized now, attempt to change the law that if you don't vote in this election, you cannot be a candidate in a future election, right? Your mic.
Just remember.
Yeah.
In a country where election is July 23rd, so what, a little bit more over a month, and the regimes is able to change the law just within weeks, within days. That's how Cambodia operate. If the regime, when we talk about regime, we're talking about Hun Sen and his crony want to bar anybody or ban anybody from elections, and lately they have banned candlelight party from entering or registering to be on the ballot, just like that. It's not so it's and also, like Brittany said from beginning, 125 seat in the parliament is belong to CPP. So I am surprised that it's taken this many, 2 weeks regarding new law. I thought it would came out like the next day after he's opened his mouth. So now my question, sure, you know what, Dale wanna hop in. I more than
Send him a link.
welcome. Hold on. I'll send you the link, Dale.
Yeah, Samuel, ta Mao.
Samuel would like. Oh, you better come in. We would like this discussion.
Yeah.
I just sent you the link in your messenger. Come on in. And some like Sakuntira, come on in too if you would like.
Yeah, and Samuel. I also, while we're on the topic of this, in the last couple of Congresses here in the United States, as many people are aware or hopefully have some idea, people in the United States, Cambodian Americans, and Americans have been mobilizing to work with senators across the United States. In the U.S., we have 100 senators, 2 per state, and we've talked to every single one of them to share the situation in Cambodia. Many of them are already aware, and after Terry Singh's sentence last year, they became even more aware, the rest of the senators, and they're very on board with some changes that need to take place, according to many Cambodian Americans who are demanding for these changes and justice and addressing some of the human rights abuses. So after she was sentenced, it sort of mobilized people in the United States. So, and that is still a work in progress, and anyone that is interested or can spare 30 minutes of their time every week to talk to senators, then that would be appreciated. I think it's the very least that we can do for Terry Singh.
Now my next question is, what do you wish the American and the international community would do? It's been a year now. So what have American lawmaker what have they been doing? I mean, besides issuing statement, what else do you want? What do you wish them to do? I know
Yeah.
I know what to say, but I want you to say it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my gosh, I think we could have an entire show on what I want the
What should
Americans.
should
Yeah.
America-
Yeah, excellent. And to answer the question of someone here in the audience, Samuel asked if we met with the West Virginia senator yet, because we were asking on
last week.
last week on this show, and also on VKC, we were asking for constituents in West Virginia. And yes, we had a very successful, positive meeting with the staff, the Senate staff from West Virginia. So thanks for your concern with that. Well, to answer your question, of course, like, it needs to be beyond statements. It needs to be more than the State Department saying we're deeply troubled by the lack of multi-party options in the upcoming elections. Like, that's step one. We need to like scale it up to match, the ever tightening civil society space in Cambodia. Because the reality is, what we're seeing this year is the same thing that we saw 5 years ago for the national election in 2017. And so it needs to go beyond that. It needs to be the legislation that we've been talking about that needs to be, in my opinion, supported by all of the senators. Overwhelmingly, the senators are supportive of this, and it needs to pass. Legislation bills becoming signed into law is a very lengthy process in the United States, as it is everywhere. But that legislation would be very impactful. And that legislation, part of that has targeted sanctions, which would be felt amongst the ruling party in Cambodia, not affecting the everyday citizen. And also it would limit the visas that those wealthy, corrupt people could have. They wouldn't be issued visas to the United States. They couldn't send their kids to study or for tourism in the United States, things like that. I would love for the United States the U.S. Embassy in Cambodia to take a stronger stance on things. I understand it's a very tricky situation, but I really wish that there would be a stronger stance taken there. More independent media outlets that were supported by the United States and funded by the United States. Protection of those journalists, especially of female journalists that are out there risking their lives every day. So those are a few things that I would love to see, in addition to just continuing programming in the in Cambodia, sending Americans to Cambodia for various things. Having Cambodian students study in the United States, I think, is very important. Offering the scholarships and offering even more of those scholarships, and having robust education efforts throughout Cambodia. All of those things, I think, would help with addressing some of these injustices that we've been seeing.
I totally agree with you. And Dale's checked my messages already, so he should be coming soon. So stay tuned,
Okay.
audience of viewers. Stay tuned. He's coming in. I agree. I would love targeted sanctions, and I call on our embassy in Cambodia, Patrick Murphy, stop taking selfie of yourself on Twitter and be strong on, I know Brittany said the same thing. It's, it's icky situation, but I want, our embassy to take a very strong stand on this, because we have an American citizen in jail for over a year now, and that is not cool, and that's not nice, and target sanctions. So this is going to be very exciting. This is our first time that our conversation, and we have a really special guest that's joining us and asking to be joining our show. So I welcome everybody who actually watching our show right now to join our show and be brave like Dale. Let me introduce him. Chumitsu Dale, how are you?
Linda and Brittany, but first time.
First time.
No, it's not. No, it's not your first time. You've been here with me, but it's not
Well,
not hop in the middle of our show. But very brave. Thank you so much.
yes. No, actually, thank you for giving me the opportunity to join you guys, and really interesting. And I really appreciate Brittany for your effort to help restore democracy in Cambodia.
Of course. Yeah, it's my honor.
Our topic, Dale, I think you watch our show a little bit. So our topic is Cambodia liberty. And when you talk about Cambodia Lady of Liberty to Lady of Liberty, you know who it is. You know that we are talking about Terry Singh. About Terry Singh, she's like you and I are American citizen. I grew up here. You grew up here. We go to school here, work. And we are strongly stand with democracy and human right, respect for human right in America. Unlike me, I still continue to work in America. She decided that America does not need another lawyer. So she went back to Cambodia, tried, which very brave of her, advocating for Cambodia. We are advocating for Cambodia from the outside. She's advocating for Cambodia from the inside. So that's who we talking about right now. And we are talking about Dale, what would you want the American and the international community to do? Because she's been in jail for over a year now.
Yeah.
And it's too long.
Yes, we strongly urge for all the international community to put more pressure for the Hun Sen government, because we tried already, including President Biden. When the time that he was in Cambodia, he also mentioned about release Miss Theresa Singh from the prison. But it seemed like Hun Sen, he doesn't care because the sanction is not strong enough. So in order to make them release Miss Theresa Singh, they have to do something differently, maybe more sanction directly to the dictatorship. The sanction to the economic system, it probably is not going to work for them, because Hun Sen, he said repeatedly so many times that the first is going to hit the people. It's not them. They are filthy rich. They are corrupted, filthy rich. So they can survive for a very long time. But first, it's going to hit Cambodian people. That right there is good enough for the U.S. Congress. The lawmakers should do something different directly to to their economy impact directly. That will take them reconsider to release Miss Sanctuary. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Dale. Anything you want to add, Brittany? Do we miss anything on what American, what international community should have done? And first of all, it's a year and 5 days. She's sentenced on June 14th, so a year and 6 days too long.
Yeah, I remember being there in Cambodia last year and hearing the sentence, and I was like, no way, this can't be. I don't know. I guess I was just, like I said, naive to think that she wouldn't face the same harsh punishment as other people. But I don't know why I had this idea, because it's all about punishment and punitive, and we have to send a strong message. And it just reminds me that his ego is very fragile if he is going to let a few Facebook messages lead to an international human rights lawyer being in prison in Cambodia, despite obviously her following, her international following. I mean, she grew up and was educated in the United States. So as a result of imprisoning her, a lot of people are looking at Cambodia as like this area, this country with, a shrinking space for democracy. And I'm sure there was a dip in tourism as a result of this, and a lot of people who are afraid to go to Cambodia, and it's very unfortunate.
And it is very unfortunate. And also, I'm not sure Dale is aware. I know he's probably more aware than I am that current market right now, the supermarket right now is very quiet. The economy is very quiet. From all the Facebook posts, if you go to supermarket, I see many supermarket just quiet. A lot of vendor, but no shopper. And also many factories also closed down or pause productions. That's another sign. And also the EU's already post a statement out. If Cambodia does not have free and fair elections, can you remind our audience, Dale, what happened? Because we already know that the main opposition, the Candlelight Party, cannot be on the ballot for. And the EU already said it before. They already withdraw 20%. So.
Yes, it's happening, and it's getting worse, especially after the scandal election, the fake election. It even worse. That's what a lot of people say. It already start, quietly on the shopping center at almost the whole country, and I know it started in a lot of garment factory was shutting down due to the economic sanction. It start from 20% of the EBA, everything but and also GSP restriction from the United States. And that's only 20%. It's already hit. And they already say Hun Sen is not step back on a trading on democracy. They're gonna put the whole thing like 100% on EBA. It's gonna hitting worse, and since people already lost their job over the factory, so every penny they spend, they had to think it twice. They rather spend on food, on something that really important. So it's the cyclically economic impact when it start from the labor worker, and if they do shopping in the market, also impact the economy of those who are selling products in the market, and also those people that in the market, they also time their budget before they spend on something. So it will be cyclically affected everybody, and it's gonna get worse after the election, after there's more sanction from international. And Hun Sen, he needs to see that, otherwise it's chaos will happen, and it's no way to stop it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really concerning because, as you said, it's changes with the EBA are a direct result of oppression and, kicking out the media and jailing opposition and threatening people and banning opposition parties from participating in the elections. And then as a result of these restrictions and sanctions and things like that, it affects the everyday person, like the factory workers and people, everyday people. So the ramifications, the consequences are going to be felt far and wide.
Now, on the topic of election, Dales, and you are our guest of honor today. You really guest of honor. What is your message on this July 23rd to the Cambodian people?
Well, the message is already sent out, and it's really that's the only way, especially for the CLP, the Candlelight Party supporter. Then they already banned the party that cannot able to join the election. There's no choice. There's no choice for you. Either you stay home, not going to vote, or if you go there, just if they threaten you, they force you to show up to go to vote, and the only choice is just cross out the entire ballot, just wasted. That's another what you call demonstrate to show the world that there's a lot of people that's not happy with the election, when the only party that they wanted was not on the list. So what's the reason? Why you even bother? Why you even force people to go to vote for what is it? It's just ridiculous. I can't believe that Hun Sen, the prime minister, he even make the amendment for the constitution to change that just right ahead before the election. And how, I would say, how stupid that is when you don't have nobody to vote for and you got forced to vote. Can you imagine, like Brittany, if you support Democrat Party and you go to vote, there's no Democrat on the list, and what the reason for you to go vote?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
No reason at all.
yeah. So either you stay home or go out there, just cross the entire ballot that to show the world that you're not happy, or you're being forced to vote. You're being forced because they put your job on jeopardy for. If they see your finger clean, there's no black ink on your finger, they gonna threaten you on your job, on your career. So yeah, just show the world that you're being forced. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Earlier we talked what Americans should do, and now when we're talking about election in Cambodia is what Cambodian inside Cambodia must do. And I brought in about the supermarket, about the economy, and that's what I want the Cambodian people to understand. It's not, I mean, sometimes people said, don't talk about politics. So but I want them to know that politics affecting their pocket, their own pocket. And when we're talking about EBA, withdraw 20%, and so many companies are pausing production right now, mainly those factory workers being affected. So when people telling you don't talk about politics, you should understand that politics affect your pocketbook. And when you're talking about money, everybody is understanding what's money. So no EBA, no job, and that's affecting you. And so our message to you in Cambodia, if somebody threatening you to see you, because in Cambodia, I forgot to tell our audience, when you go to vote, they ink your finger. So you will see the ink, then it show that that you did went to vote. So if somebody threaten you, if people are intimidate you and threatening you that you have to go to vote, void the ballot, cross out the ballot. Clear and simple. And that's what the message for people in Cambodia. Clear and simple on July 23rd.
Yes, and also we already heard that Mr. Sam C, he said that there will be people watching. I don't know who will be watching, but it's important that they are watching for the wasted ballot, because that's what they count for. That's what they're looking for to see, so they can estimate how the people that show their reaction over the ballot. So somebody is watching. The world is watching. So it is important to cross out the entire ballot. Yes.
Mhm.
Anything, Brittany, you want to add? More encouraging. Dale and I said already regarding people in Cambodia, people inside Cambodia should be very concerned. It's not just an election. It's not just one election. It's an election that determines the next 5 years of your life, the next 5 years of your economy, and the next 5 years of your pocketbook.
Mhm. Yeah, I think you can draw parallel points with the election here in the United States. Some election, they're like presidential elections, that a lot of people, they come out and they're very active, but smaller elections, not that many people vote, and we don't have we do have voter suppression, and we have some issues too with our voting system, of course, but in comparison to Cambodia, there aren't as many issues, and so I say that to say, I hope everyone comes out to vote, and if you agree, with the need for change, and your party that represents what you want and your values is not on the ballot, then I think you have one option at that time. It's a false choice. You get there and you see one party, and then a handful of other parties that are actually part of that party too, right? So it's a false choice. There really is no choice there. So it's very unfortunate, but I think it's in line with what we saw the last national election and previous elections before. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Yes,
Yeah.
the 2023 elections that is a little bit over a month is mirror of the last elections, where the main opposition party banned from CNRP was banned from elections. Now CLP is banned from elections as well. So there is no doubt that CPP will win 125 seats, despite there are 17 other political parties on the ballot. It's the party that supported, party that feed those 17 parties are feed by CPP. So if you remember 2017, 2018 elections where CNRP is not there, those tiny political party, not even one seat in the parliament. 125 seats go to CPP, and now 125 seats going to go to CPP again. But we are seeking that we want you to voice the ballot. If you face intimidations, if you have to show your finger that's already in, voice the ballot.
Yes, and also I want to add, so make sure you cross out the ballot. If you being forced to vote, don't leave your ballot empty, because that somebody will add the cross for you for a spot that you don't want it to be. So make sure don't leave it empty. You cross it out. You cross it out. Write something. Yeah, write something. Do something. Write something on the ballot, so that way they can use it. If you leave it empty, they can use it, and they're gonna count it to the party that you don't want it to be. So, thank you.
Thank you, Dale. That's really good, because I forgot that point, that mark the ballot. Make sure you mark the ballot. You X the ballot. Cross it out. Make sure that's if you leave it blank, that's easy for them. They will fill it in for you.
Yep.
Don't let them do that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dale, and you are our guest, do you have questions for us instead of me asking you questions?
Nah, I just like to answer the question. That's all. I don't have any question at the moment.
Are you sure they send you in for something?
I'm talking to nobody. Samuel Bang sent me in. I don't know what the reason, but yeah.
Well, we glad that Samuel sent you in, and we glad our audience really enjoying you. Thank you so much for being here. And our message is clear. Terry Singh is still in prison over a year now, over a year too long. The international community and the American community need to step up, need to seriously sanction the Cambodian government. I said it. I'm not going to play. Hi. Oh, that's our future Khmer youth guest.
Okay,
Hi.
You say hi.
Come on in.
Hi.
How are you?
Biết xưa con, biết xưa, thế đây biết xưa mấy.
Like that.
Okay, go. Bye. Thank you.
That's my future guest right there.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Yes, yeah. I'm gonna let him.
So cute.
Next year we'll book him next year. Like I said, I'm not afraid to say it, and I'm afraid that Mr. Patrick Murphy, his I think his contract, right, with the U.S. Embassy, I think it's called contract, or his term is almost up. Please step it up. All I see on Twitter is him taking selfie in front of the Mekong River. But also the international community, please don't just issue statement. We condemn, we are concerned. And also the Cambodian American that in America, please work with the lawmaker, please work with us. We always have meetings every week. We are starting meetings, 2 or 3 meetings each week. please contact us, and we always will put on our Facebook, Brittany, Facebook, Mr. Dale, Facebook, when we need constituents from each state. Please, and our meeting is very confidential. We don't post them up on Facebook, so you are safe. So I need constituents from each state. Contact us. Contact Mr. Dale if you don't want to talk to me or Brittany. He's very nice. He show up in our show.
Exactly.
He's more famous than us.
Yeah.
Please don't say that. You did
Samuel
more work.
can join. Samuel, let me know.
Yes.
But your
I
cover
really want to
picture
see
need to
Samuel.
be-
Yeah.
his cover picture need to be changed a little bit. Our show is very proper. We would like to have a proper dress on, clothing on. All joking on the side, very serious. We, like I said, this show is speaking entirely in English, so that way our Khmer youth, our international community can hear us regarding the backsliding or step back democracy in Cambodia and human rights. And we want to also say that Terry Sang has been in jail for 1 year, over a year now, and this is a serious issue. She's an American citizen, and I'm American citizen. Everyone here is American citizen, and we should not be in a situation where we go to other country, to Cambodia, especially to help building democracy, building the country, but instead being put in jail, and the country itself, which is America, have not, beside issuing statement, tougher sanction.
Yep. And also, the American especially need to pay more attention to Cambodia that being dragged away by China. If you want the Southeast Asia to be stabilized with democracy, otherwise China will drag it away with Hun Sen that will let China do anything. He don't even care. So it is important for the American that need to stop Cambodia being dragged away by China.
There's the Cambodian embassy in Washington, D.C. They did an interview a couple of days ago. I wish I remember his name. Sokha, I believe. He said that Cambodia does not side with China, but Cambodia need to survive. My message to him is Cambodia can survive with the West. Why couldn't Cambodia side with the West? But instead, Cambodia side with China. And the reason why Cambodia does not side with the West, because the West demand democracy. The West demand free, fair, and just election, humane treatment of their worker. When today we have not touched on Naga worker yet. That's over years now. Naga women that been out there protesting, and the regime have not done anything besides intimidate them and kick them, push them.
Yes, I want to respond to that. When he say Cambodia need to survive, he need to know that the country, a survival country, when its people survive on their job, when they have a good job, the job that can supply for the whole family. Like right now, even they have a job from government, from the factory, but Hun Sen show no intention to keep it, show no intention to save EBA, so that way the factory will survive and will provide people job. So if he say that Cambodia need to survive, then he need to say that the worker need the job. So it's not just to survive by the aid from China, and the people lost their job, and instead a lot of Chinese come into Cambodia and take the job away from Cambodian. That's not survival. So whatever he say, it doesn't make sense to me. Yeah.
Brittany, any last word?
Yeah, I would just also add to that. Maybe next time we can talk a little bit more about that with the special economic zones and how those are playing a role in human trafficking. The State Department just released the 2023 TIP report, Trafficking in Persons report, and Cambodia remains at Tier 3, which means that the Cambodian government isn't complying with the recommendations for human trafficking and addressing and making the necessary changes. And there's absolutely a connection with these so-called special economic zones that have direct ties to China and to other international players. And they're basically throughout Cambodia and a hub for human trafficking and people being held against their will and forced labor and modern day slavery, essentially. So we need to look at that, and I'm glad that the State Department continues to monitor, but it's at the very least of what the United States should be doing and what the international community should be doing. So maybe we can talk about that on the next episode.
Yes, thank you. I just read the report. It probably released today about that. They compared to the Golden Triangle that also it's work for them because they use the COVID-19 pandemic, and also that's the young people that can't find a job nowadays. So people struggling looking for a job everywhere, and they fall into a scam, and those scam brought them, tricked them into Cambodia and trapped them and forced them to work on online scam and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really interesting.
Dale, when you talk about scamming, talking about this international, like a very elaborate scamming, and I know Brittany want to touch on this next time, but just a little bit to show how the regime or the regime in Cambodia. Have you seen any serious arrests yet?
No, not. The only no, not even arrest those scam online. No, for me, I haven't seen. I've seen nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, you see operation where they rescue the worker, rescue the victim, but we have not seen anyone or the regime arrest anyone yet.
They haven't. They haven't take anybody to hold accountable for behind the scene yet. But yeah, they released a few victims because they couldn't hold the secret. They had to release it, but there's no link with being revealed. There's no people behind that were brought to justice.
So that's the situation in Cambodia. If you are looking for a job, and please be careful, you might get into one of those scams. And like Dale said, and I just mentioned, is there's no help. There's no help. There's nobody responsible for what happened to you. So please be careful. Cambodia is a country where word of mouth, the mouth of the regime hold a lot of weight. There's no respect for democracy.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no respect for democracy. There's no respect for human rights. So I will touch base with that with Brittany next time. But like I said, we are here speaking in English. We are here speaking so that way the Cambodian community in America can understand. Hopefully, everyone will come out and join us. Come out and care for Cambodia.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to add, Brittany?
Yeah, I would like to add just the end on a positive note. Recently, within the past, 6 days, last week, the courts in South Korea recognized refugee status of Cambodian activist who they don't name, of course, but we all kind of know who that is. Very prominent activist in South Korea who's been working there for a number of years, and they were facing political persecution should they come back to Cambodia. They would be for sure charged and jailed, and worse, likely worse. And so it's very good news that after a lot of back and forth, because initially the immigration authorities did not grant them refugee status, but after some pushing and going different routes, those opposition activists were granted refugee status, which is amazing, and it allows them to continue to mobilize outside of Cambodia, but still within the region, and allows them to organize other youth who are migrant workers who understand very intimately the situation in Cambodia, and they had to leave Cambodia to find more stable work, and they ended up in South Korea. So to see the South Korean government honoring their situation and saying, we will give you refugee status because we understand if you go back to Cambodia, something really bad will happen to you. So I just want to acknowledge the South Korean government's the right move on that. In my opinion, that's definitely the right move. So something positive to end on.
We keep going back to the economy. See, we talking about the youth, Khmer youth in South Korea. Trust me, nobody will want to go to South Korea if there's job in Cambodia. And trust me, that labor no. Trust me, nobody want to cross the border illegally or legally to Thailand to work. And we have over 2 million of migrant workers in Thailand. And that's the reason why, because Cambodia has no job for Cambodian inside Cambodia.
Yes, I want to add on that too. The differences between the work across in Thailand, they could probably earn around between $350 to $400 a month, compared to Cambodia that can the government worker they can get like around $200 a month. So it's not much different compared to that. So, but the different when you work outside in another country, different language, the way they treat the workers are different because you're not in your own country. It's really tough, and for 30 years that Cambodia have a free trade EBA that support the workers with all these factories. Without the corruption, I believe that the worker that can earn $500 a month easy for what they do. If without corruption, I believe they can make at least $500 a month. And if you make $500 a month, you tell me, would you cross the border to work in a different country to make 400? You make 350, 400, and away from your family? Yeah. So that is it's all on Hun Sen, that the corruption and everything. They waste a lot on EBA that will show the benefit to the Hun Sen family, and on top of that, they chop the whole all the trees, all the forests in Cambodia. They destroys all the national resources. So the people lost everything, including job. If the regime still continue, there will be wars to come. So it's terrible. Yeah.
Thank you, Dale. Yes. In addition, when you cross the border to Thailand, if you have small children, you're going to be dragging them with you, or your parent have to watch them. If you're lucky if you have parents watching them in Cambodia, but that at the same time, it's a separations of parents, the nurtures of parents watching their kid. And if you go to Thailand, most of the time, I don't think they able to go to school because it's just a reality. And there's many, and like I said, over 2 million migrant workers in Thailand, move from Cambodia to Thailand just to work. You lucky, you working legally. If you not lucky, you will be crossing the border illegally. The Thai police will arrest you, put you in jail. Very inhumane, really inhumane. So again pleading for the Cambodia people inside Cambodia. Even though our show talking about politics, I know Dale, Brittany, and I is hitting on the economy. Make sure that this is something that it will be affecting for the next 5 years. So make sure you mark on your ballot, mark exit out if you are very people could intimidate you for you to go to vote. So the next 5 years, the next 1 month is very important when election come.
Yep. It's very important that either you stay home or you go out there and cross out the whole ballot if there's no party that you want to vote for. Make sure you don't leave the empty ballot. If you leave the empty ballot, you just throw a meat to a tiger. It will be the same thing. You will be do no good. So make sure you cross exactly like the picture you show. This show it cross the entire ballot. ខ្ញុំចង់បន្ថែមជាភាសាខ្មែរសម្រាប់បងប្អូនដែលទៅបោះឆ្នោតសូមបងប្អូនកុំបាទបើសិនជាបងប្អូនត្រូវគេបង្ខំគឺត្រូវគូសស្លឹកឆ្នោតខ្វែងចោលទាំងអស់ហើយមិនគួរទុកស្លឹកឆ្នោតយើងឲ្យទទេដាច់ខាតកុំទុកឲ្យស្លឹកឆ្នោតយើងទទេស្អាតបាទកុំគឺយើងត្រូវគូសខ្វែងឬក៏ធ្វើសញ្ញាអ្វីមួយឲ្យពេញទៅលើស្លឹកឆ្នោតហ្នឹងដើម្បីកុំឲ្យគេបន្លំយកស្លឹកឆ្នោតយើងហ្នឹងទៅរាប់ឲ្យគណៈបកផ្សេងបាទ Thank you
ហើយសំខាន់បំផុតគូសចោលកុំទុកឲ្យនៅកុំទុកឲ្យនៅនៅសទាំងអស់គូស like the picture is red I don't know what pen they're using exit out.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me see. Trying to read comment from our audience. Dale, and you here to speak English. What do you want to encourage our Khmer youth in America?
Yeah, absolutely. We always remember where we came from. Even though we born and raised in the United States, but it's always you are from who you are, your the country from your parent, and you look at your people. You're always proud from who you are, and then look at the people. You turn back to look at your own country and see those people, your own nation that are suffering from the dictatorship. So yeah, please join the movement to stand with democracy, stand with human rights. All we need, we don't ask much. All we need, we want Cambodian people to enjoy the democracy just like we did here. That's all. Yes, thank you.
Daddy?
Yeah, he can come on the show. We can talk to him. You want to be on the show? You are welcome to.
Leadership.
He thought when I say dictatorship, he was thinking I say potato chip. That's why he come and ask me.
It's getting closer. At least he paying attention.
He always around whatever I do. He always around.
Yeah, yummy. Yes. Potato chip, dictatorship is totally different. Dictatorship we don't want. Potato chip on the other hand, we want potato chip.
Potato chip.
So, like I said, don't just go to Cambodia and stay in the city and see all the thank you peace sign and seeing all those building. Anybody who lead the country can build those buildings. The most important, go to the countryside and see the tree, like Dale said. Deforestation is very everywhere in Cambodia, and lake, river being sand on so they can make more property. The property with empty building. If you go inside the building, empty building for no particular reason. So, and also the treatment of human rights in Cambodia, horrible. And for us to be able to be in this country to speak like that, everyone that in America or that's not in Cambodia, that outside Cambodia, should be able to help out, able to contact your representative, contact your senator, contact your Congress, and make sure that you are concerned. You are some Cambodian American concerned about your country, the country that your parent, your grandparent came from. And we all want to see Cambodia prosper. We all want to see Cambodia, you know, I would love to know that the worker in Cambodia can earn more than $200 working on factory. Over here you can make a decent living. You are, as long as you have energy to go to work, as long as you have energy to get education, you are allowed to get education. You are allowed to better yourself, have a better future. In Cambodia, you're not, because they are setting limit on you. And if you are not related to the regime, to the crony, you are our luck.
Mhm. You mean the factory workers? They don't have a salary of $600, $700, $800? No.
If you yeah, it's different rate if you're like a leader, a supervisor, or you're doing something different. But we're talking about the basic salary. Well, yes, the minimum wage.
Mhm.
They actually they were lucky. Many of them are lucky because the regime was able to increase $2. Last year they $198. This year's $200. And if you listen to $2 increase, and I believe in Cambodia you work 6 days per week, not 5 days.
Yes, and I remember it was not too long ago. There was a shootout at the Wayne Strain Street because the worker was request for the minimum salary 145, and that I couldn't remember the year. If you guys here know what the year was, so please comment. Yeah, that time when people protesting request for the salary 145, they even shoot and kill the worker to stop them. Yeah.
So if you protest, that there's no freedom of speech, there's no I mean, the democracy in Cambodia is everywhere. You can, the international community looking at it, it's like, what's wrong with Cambodia? We're trying to tell you that it's not right in Cambodia. You cannot protest your wage. You cannot protest your freedom of speech. You see Friday women every single Friday go out there and protest, and they're not even allowed to hold sign. And if they will hold any poster, being shot, being pushed. And if you have your opinion regarding the political situation in Cambodia, you be in jail. You are not allowed to say anything bad about the regime, their party. Brittany, anything to add?
I think that pretty much summarizes everything. We'll talk about the trafficking in persons next time we meet, and of course following the election. And as we've talked about here, everyone has some role that they can play in this, whether it's calling their senator, whether it's writing a letter or sharing these stories in their circles and their networks. Everyone has power. Everyone has some gift that they can give to this. And as long as Samuel keeps supplying the coffee, then we'll keep fighting.
And thank you, Mr. Dale, for joining us, for joining our conversations. You are welcome back anytime. Every Tuesday, you are welcome.
Yes, thank you again. Yes, I will see if I get able to join next time. So definitely, it's my honor to join with you guys. Yes.
Since you are guest, you can close our show. What do you want to say to the last? What do you want to say to our audience? Beside potato chip.
If Kim
You make him here again. Now he says.
like a potato chip.
Yeah, he's the star of our show right now.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I think this is it.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Mr. Dale, for being here. Thank you, Brittany, for being here. As always, Cambodian American, we are begging you, please be involved. Please get to know Cambodia, where's Cambodia's at, and also understand what democracy and what's human rights, so you can be the voice, the change for the people in Cambodia, the people that cannot speak. You here, you can speak. Please use your freedom. Please use your democracy that you are entitled to in America to change Cambodia for the good. At that note, thank you so much, and see you next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Again, enjoy your summer tomorrow.
Thank you. You too.
Did you finish?